Hey everybody, this is Sari,
And this is Sean.
and we're the Simpsons siblings, and we've both been sick, so that's why this is super late.
And other things.
So yeah, anyways, it's been a bit. We've had some things come up, but it feels good to get back on track. And this is one I hadn't watched for a long time, and I saw it a lot when I was a kid, and then I didn't see it again for a long time because I was so tired of seeing it so much as a kid.
And this one, we watched it recently, and we said, oh, we should do this as a podcast episode. And then I had to watch it again and take notes.
Ah, ha, ha. Yep. Yeah, for some reason, our local station, WB61, like to show seasons like 10 and 11 just over and over.
Yeah.
We saw them so dang much.
They weren't very, even with their spread of the seasons and episodes.
Yep. So anyways, this episode is EI, Annoyed Grunt. Season 11, Episode 5, originally aired November 7th, 1999, written by Ian Maxtome Graham and directed by Bob Anderson, with special guest star the B-52s. Which I didn't realize that was actually the B-52s, because they sang Love Shack, and they made the remake Love Slap.
Yeah, when we watched this a few weeks ago, I was like, we were thinking, is this the actual B-52s? And watched the credits, and yep, yeah, it was.
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
The B-52s.
And then we have the chalkboard from Bart saying, I did not win the Nobel Fart Prize. Which then makes me wonder who did win the Nobel Fart Prize. I researched extensively and discovered, interestingly, it doesn't exist.
Oh, wow. Who'd have thought? You're not allowed to lie in chalkboard gags.
Who'd have thunk it?
They could go to jail for that.
And then we have the couch gag where it's almost like a disco club and the bouncer lets everyone in, but not Homer.
Oh, is it the No Homers Club?
Yes, there's already an existing
We can
Homer
have
there.
no Homers. We can have one.
So we start with them going to the movies, which, first of all, I wrote down all the names on the marquee. My Dinner with Jar Jar, Mars Needs Towels, that 70s movie, Shakespeare in Heat, Face Puncher 4, and Das Booty Call.
Oh, those are great.
But
Those are great.
The movie starts with the scene of everyone storming Normandy Beach. And everyone shooting and, war stuff and everything. And then the guy, the soldier pulls out a Buzz Cola from his jacket. And then everybody says, Buzz Cola, the taste you'll kill for.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh my god, that's really bad.
I know.
So we have Homer kind of arguing with the greasy teen. He goes, "You're not supposed to put hot butter on milk duds."
What did he say? I want it swimming?
Picturing that. Huh?
Did he say, I want it swimming in butter?
Yeah, he's like, "I want it swimming in butter." So they go to see the Poke of Zorro, which I totally remember the Zorro movies being like a big thing back then.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Like, they kind of got forgotten about. Like, nobody really talks about them anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of the movies, but I remember them being a big deal when they came out.
Yeah.
I hope they were as amazing as the Poke of Zorro.
I mean, it's a high standard to shoot for, but we can only hope. Homer's expression when Zorro challenges the guy to a duel, he's got trouble brewing in his brain.
Yeah, his obsession radar is locked on.
Oh, yeah. And fun fact, which if you want more fun facts about this episode, you can check out our YouTube page where we have a Simpsons fun facts machine, which actually features this as one of the facts. The Zorro rap song in the credits was improvised by Hank Azaria. He improvised the whole thing. And they actually went and added the credits after the fact so that they could put the song in.
I just love how, like, from the Z to the O to the double R-O, like, it flows so well.
He just made that up on the spot. And they recorded it and were like, well, we need to have a place to put this in. And so they're like, okay, we'll write a whole bunch of credits for it. Which I did write down some of the credits.
Oh, was there some fun stuff in there?
Oh, yeah. So there's Robot Zorro, played by Sean Wayans. Mrs. Zorro. King Arthur, played by Cheech Marin. Wise Nun, played by Posh Spice. Stupid Nun, played by Meryl Streep. Time Traveler Number 1, played by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Orangutan at Dance, played by Puddles. Man Beating Mule, Mule Beating Man. Voice of Magic Taco, James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Yeah,
and I love in the movie,
picture.
too, that where he's like, I, King Arthur, declare Zorro the king.
Like,
he just
what?
tosses him the ground.
Oh, dear God. So when they leave the theater, Homer starts just challenging people to duels. And it seems like the first one, was it the first one that he challenges Snake?
Yeah. Yeah,
And he goes,
just as they're leaving the theater.
Would a coward do this? Bye. And then he just like runs away. Oh, man. So he keeps slapping people and challenging them to duels, and it basically just scares them into giving him whatever he wants. And he keeps getting this positive reinforcement, and it's just not what he needs.
Yeah, and it's amazing how long it works in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing I noticed, like, as he's repeatedly doing this, he has the same gloves as what he took off the belt of the janitor at the movie theater. So he just stole his gloves.
He just continuously uses them.
Yeah.
So he finally gets someone who accepts the duel. And he's so jolly and excited about it. And he says, well, we'll have pistols at dawn.
We say that all the time
what?
here. Anytime something's at noon, it's the phrase pistols at dawn has to be spoken.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, why did I have to slap a guy who says, suh? Oh my God. So Marge kind of tries to reassure him, like, oh, the guy probably won't even show up or whatever. And he like comes in with like a camper van. He's like ready to stay there until the duel happens, basically.
It's like he does this all the time too. He's so like methodical and well planned out. Like he's got food and everything. This isn't his first duel.
Like, how could someone like that still be alive? Just, I feel like statistically speaking, you're not going to have a very long life if you're just consistently dueling.
Unless you're best at dueling.
Maybe. I'm trying to drown out the Hamilton lyrics that are currently shooting through my brain. But yeah, duels do not always turn out very well. But they end up sneaking out with an old Christmas tree, and Homer is hiding in it. And they just kind of book it.
Well, he says, well, at least let me shoot it into smaller pieces. And Bart says, well, it's worth a try. Like, Bart says multiple things in this episode that could lead to the death of his father.
Yeah, like, goodness, Bart. And Homer says about the old Christmas tree, somebody wanted to get rid of it in April.
Oh, man.
Poor Marge, having to just Because she asked him multiple times to get rid of that tree.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't even like cut down or anything. It was just the whole raw tree just there.
Oh, yeah. So then we get another story swerve, which seems to be popular in these teen seasons, which is where it starts out with one subject and it just completely swerves to something else.
Yeah, because like once you get into the whole farm scene, you kind of forget the reason why they went there.
Heck, they forget about it near the end. They're like, why did we even leave? Which it was almost like them drawing attention to it.
Yeah.
So was it Homer talking to Grandpa on the phone?
No, he was talking to Ned, saying how important he was to him. And he's like, "Oh, I never told you this, but you just mean please deposit 10 cents."
Screw it. The what would Zoro do scene was one of my favorites as a kid for some reason.
Oh,
when he like
that is still one of my most favorite scenes from this whole show.
It happened so fast. What? Just bang.
Well, it's
Zoro!
the fact that it's a fictional character to begin with in a situation that's made up in his mind, so it's not even real to this fictional character, and it's so absurd, and then his grief over the character getting shot.
Like, honestly, his reaction is even funnier than the scene. Because the scene that he imagines is basically a ripoff of a scene from Indiana Jones, because it happens where someone comes up to him with a sword and he just shoots him.
Yeah.
But his reaction to it is just, it is a wail of despair. Oh my God. I seem to remember that being something we would shout occasionally during like Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, we would.
Where like someone would get thrown off. And we mean Smash Brothers 64. That will show you how old we are.
Would it be like after like Fox shoots with a laser or something?
Maybe. Or I would just think if someone's flying off the screen or something, you go, Zoro! Yeah. But I don't know. So they go to live at the farm where Homer grew up, which of course has the old swimming hole, which is just a bunch of grass.
That whole scene makes me itchy.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, like, I don't know. Also, I never noticed there's like a full horse skeleton in the yard.
Yeah, I noticed that for the first time too, and it's weird that it just like died standing up while eating.
Yeah, it's weird. Also, there's a part where Maggie's like pointing at the raccoon, which is pretty cute. It's like a little thing in the background.
I always try to pay attention to her more when I rewatch these because she gives a lot of like expressions. She's not a vocal character, but she's still active in the scenes.
Yeah, she has little quirks to her. It's cute. And they're all talking about jobs that they're gonna do, and Marge is, I'll repress the rage I'm feeling, and she's got that really warped smile.
Yeah, like the wiggly face.
Oh my God, like she's just gonna snap. We've got the scene with Lisa and the sheep.
Yes. The sheep.
Yep. She just keeps shaving and shaving and shaving, and it turns out to just be a rat.
But it has some really good looking hair.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Do you know about the Sneed's feed and seed joke?
No.
Okay, so their sign, so when they go to get the seeds, it says Sneed's feed and seed, formerly Chuck's.
See, I remember seeing that, but I didn't get it.
Okay, so if it's Sneed's feed and seed, then it would be Chuck's. Add the last part of Chuck to the other two words.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, as someone on the writing team was like, we do not know how we got away with that, but it was just discreet enough that it went over enough people's heads.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, one thing I was wondering too, because he's in the feed store and he's like scooping up all this stuff. You can't just go buy tobacco seeds, can you?
I don't know if maybe the laws were different in 1999.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know what the laws are. Because it's not really as controlled as like pot.
Yeah, and
but
I'm sure like that too, it varies from state to state.
Yeah, I could. And it...
Oh, I wonder if that could be
I never
hint to
thought
which
of
state they're in.
We don't know.
You got to piece all these little clues together.
Yeah. I love the sort of screw the audience joke where they're like, man, this is the juiciest watermelon I've ever tasted. Yeah, I hope I can grow some like that. Also, the scene where they're eating tumbleweed, that's another itchy scene.
Yeah, it's more like pokey. But I don't remember if it's like around here. There's a phrase that it's when they're going to plant the stuff and like the neighbor farmer says like, is mocking him, saying he doesn't know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And the phrase he says is, you couldn't grow steak on a monkey.
Yeah.
And I tried looking that up and I couldn't find anything. So I wonder if it's just
I think someone was just being weird.
Maybe I'm being too analytical.
Well, someone on the writing staff was like, we need to just put something here.
Yeah.
We need to give him a phrase that isn't really a phrase. So Homer ends up contacting Lenny and Carl about getting him plutonium. He goes, plutonium? Isn't that dangerous? Oh, you're right. It's not. And of course, that leads to one of our favorite exchanges between Lenny and Carl.
Yes. There's some good phrases in this one.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go ahead and say the line?
Sending some outgoing mail?
You know it.
Gonna send some tomorrow.
I don't remember what comes after that.
I hear that.
Usually we stop after you know it, but
yeah.
I just love how they're just so excited about this just completely ordinary action that they are accomplishing.
And they've got this very like unemotional high five too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And you kind of referenced this in the message you sent me. I said, I wrote down, crane your necks upward now to save time. And I put, they look so weird that way from the front. And you actually sent me a picture of them looking up from the front. And it's just so weird looking.
Yeah, it was just Marge's head as a square in like the Discord message. Because it just looks so weird.
It's so weird. I counted in the episode, I thought it was more than this, but Homer tips over the tractor 4 times total.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, like, when they first find the tractor, it's got all the cobwebs, and they start it up, and it's the smoothest sounding engine you've ever heard, even though it's been sitting out in the weather. Like, doesn't sound too tractory. And he just, like, shoves a screwdriver inside and starts twisting. And then it's...
Oh, my God.
And then it gets that, like, rough, like, sputtering sound. It's like, oh, there it is.
I bet the sound department had fun with that one.
Yeah.
So we also get the line of, this tomato will be Heinz ketchup. This tomato will be Hunt's catsup.
Mm-hmm.
Which is only one of several ketchup catsup jokes on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I was going to say, too, is that's after the plant starts sprouting. When he first puts the plutonium out in the field and Homer and Marge are looking at it at night, I really appreciate the glow that the characters had on their faces. Like, it emphasized all their shadows and contours. And it looked like it wasn't
yeah.
just that like parts of their face were bright. It looked like it was glowing and radiating.
Yeah.
I remember noticing that like as a kid too, and seeing that thinking, oh, that looks like such a cool glow.
It's almost reminiscent of the Hungry Are the Damned.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that very neon green. So it doesn't take too long for them to realize that the tomatoes have tobacco inside. And so Homer sells them on the side of the road, calling them tobacco.
And Lisa strongly objects.
Yep.
I don't know if, because I know we're watching it on different services. When Lisa was talking about it, like for a product that's evil and deadly, and she turns her head, at least on the version I have, as her head rotates, the cells are like stacked on top of each other. And for like 2 seconds, there's multiple like of her head stacked on top.
Yep, that's in all the versions. It was an animation error.
Okay. And then there's like a weird like ghost of her head.
It's like there's multiple like Lisas behind her somehow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I rewound it a bit just to make sure it wasn't like a weird like downloading buffering issue, but it was there.
This is the defining scene of the episode is when Ralph and Chief Wiggum drive by. And Ralph gets to taste it, and he goes, "Daddy, this tastes like Grandma."
And, of course, the first reaction when someone says, "Ew, this is gross," someone else has to try it. It does taste like Grandma.
But, of course, it becomes addictive, and they all want, like, a whole bunch of it. And, of course, Chief Wiggum doesn't even question giving this to his son, despite the fact that it obviously has tobacco in it.
Well, also, like, when they pull up, like, Ralph is a bit hesitant. And then he says, "Go ahead, Ralphie. The stranger is offering you a treat."
So terrible.
Like we've had this discussion before.
And then poor Marge and her mincemeat pies.
Yeah, and $5 is a pretty good deal.
I know. So it's about at that point when cigarette company picks up the Simpsons and they offer them $150 million for the tobacco. They're like, okay, well, let's think about it for a bit. And so they go aside and Homer's like, "Did you see the way Emil's looking at Mindy?"
Like he knows them so well. He's like enjoying the workplace drama.
He just wants to gossip. He doesn't even think about the $150 million. And Lisa kind of questions the morality of it, but Homer takes it as like the amount being too low.
And he takes it a little bit to the extreme.
The least we can accept is $150 billion.
When they dump him on the side of the road, and he's like, "Mindy, call me."
It was funny as a kid. I couldn't really conceptualize just how much money that was. But now I'm like, God, Homer, you're such an idiot. The animals, well, all the animals in the farm eat the tobacco and become like addicted and crazed. There's one point where Homer distracts a cow by saying that there's a flying saucer, and the face the cow makes in response is just so cute.
I know. Wait. I just made a connection. The Mr. Sparkle commercial. Doesn't he talk about like the cows seeing UFOs? Like the newscaster?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like a common trope, though. Like the whole cows getting picked up by UFOs in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess so.
But that is a good connection. The scene with Homer where he says, "I'm just one man," frustrated me to death when I was a kid.
Yeah, like when she's talking about like fertilizing the field.
Well, she's talking about destroying the plant.
Oh, okay. I know there's a scene earlier where Marge says, "Oh, the field needs more fertilizer," and he says, "Oh, I'm just one man." It's like,
Oh, I didn't
which
make that
implies
connection.
which implies that he's been trying to fertilize the field himself.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
no. I don't want to think about that. But I guess that makes sense then that they're calling back to that other line. Because Lisa's like, you would help the world if you just destroyed the plant right now. And he's like, I know, but I'm just one man. It's
What can I do as one man?
like, damn it, Homer, just destroy it. So the animals break into the house and they lose the plant to Mindy. And then we get sort of Homer in denial again, where he's like, Mindy and I are just hammering out a payment plan. We'll talk Monday.
Like, that's when they take off in the helicopter and things get a little bit more interesting.
So the tobacco crazed, was it a goat?
Yes. This is the pilot's like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
tobacco
actually.
crazed goat. Yeah. And he causes it to crash. And somehow the goat survives it.
That's what I was going to say. I love how, like, the goat just, like, happily jumps away.
So we do get called back to the beginning when they're driving home. And Homer goes, I don't know why we ever left in the first place. Don't.
What I was thinking, because they pull up and, like, everyone's still there waiting for the duel. You could, that whole middle part, you could splice any B-plot episode into there.
Yeah, it's true. They're completely unconnected. Oh my god. So they're about to duel, and the Colonel is distracted by the mincemeat pies. And instead of just letting him be distracted, Homer draws his attention back to the duel. And he ends up getting shot. So Homer gets shot like in the arm. And was it Lisa that said, this might be one of those things you should go to the hospital for?
He's like, oh, don't worry, the bones stop the bullet.
Oh my god, it's terrible. Yeah. Well, and then he says after pie and then eats some of the pie and then it just ends. But it's kind of an abrupt ending. Like, it just ends.
Well, and what they spent like a couple months out there. All for it. That whole time spent out on the farm was for nothing because the duel still happened.
Yeah, basically. They could have just... I could argue that you could take the middle part of the episode, not even put in a B plot. Just have it so they circle back, and then...
The middle part could be like them going to the Quickie Mart.
Yeah. Yep, because they're completely unrelated plots. Oh my god, season 11, what are you doing? But it's not a bad episode either.
No, not like we criticize it, but it's well done.
Yeah, it's very funny and it's very fun. It's definitely not a, fuzzy, emotional kind of episode. It is, you just go into it for the laughs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good one. It's good. It's definitely good. It's like a solid 7 out of 10.
Well, and the fact that there's multiple lines that we quote from that all the time, like it's got some.
Oh yeah,
writing.
The jokes per minute is good. I wonder how the process came about to form the basis for this episode. Just who in the writing room raised their hand and was like, let's have them mixed tobacco and tomatoes.
It's something that, like, I feel like they were looking for something that was like unique and new, and they definitely hit that. But it's one that's memorable too. Like, I remember the previews for this episode coming on TV.
Yep. It's you don't forget this episode because it's so weird.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun romp.
Try it.
It's fun. Oh my god, we're referencing Aladdin Activity Center on CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cool people. That was EI Annoyed Grunt, aka EI Doe. Did you know about the whole annoyed grunt thing?
No.
So in the scripts, they never write out doe. They write
Oh,
annoyed grunt.
that's right.
Yeah, so you can, any episode that has annoyed grunt in its parentheses, you can just replace it with doe.
Oh, and then it's E-A-E-I-DO. Okay.
And like there's one that's supercalifragilisticexpiala annoyed grunttious because it's doe-cious.
And that's the thing I learned today.
Now you know.
Did you know that?
Did you know that? Oh, and it is at this point that we have to thank Timothy Burleson, who is our one and only patron on Patreon. Thank you, Timmy.
Thank you.
And if you join our Patreon, you will get handmade art from us, Simpsons art. You will get bonus episodes. We just recently did one on the Japanese lemon. What was it called again?
Oh, CC Lemon.
CC Lemon. So we did a bonus podcast on CC Lemon. We've got like 10 bonus podcasts now. But yeah, it's a good way to support the channel, and we will spoil you with things.
We'll bring you gold.
We'll bring you gold. Not a guarantee. What was the thing with Krusty where he's like, if you watch Krusty the Clown Show, I'll send you a check for $40. Checks will not be honored. So it's basically like that. But also check out our YouTube channel because I have been doing shorts where we talk about they're quick 1-minute videos about fun facts for each episode that we cover. So I actually already made the one for E-I-E-I-DO, and that will be uploaded along with this podcast on our YouTube page, which the link will be in the description. But join us next time. We're going to cover, speaking of episodes with like really good jokes per minute, Mountain of Madness, Season 8, Episode 12. This is like one of my comfort episodes.
It's a fun one.
It's a good one. So yeah, definitely watch the episode first before you listen to get that full experience. And until next time, bye everybody.